years old, 10 and 11 years old. The expectation was met or raised for them, not just in the classroom, but in their extracurricular activities. If we don't push our kids, who will? The street will. They'll push them into trouble. They'll push them into all kinds of things. But if we're pushing our kids and we're setting the bar, they're too busy trying to achieve those goals than to get mixed up with anything else that does not profit them. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking about profit, merit-based pay is a hot topic in our country today. Merit-based pay talks about paying teachers, aside from their salaries, based upon how well students do in the classrooms. Now, in a day and time where everybody's hurting economically, this seems like a good idea. But we have several students on the panel who don't believe that is the case. So without further ado, the gloves are on and they're ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, merit-based pay will be presented by Mr. Antoine Jefferson, Mr. Jonathan Cook, Ms. Carmen Kauser, and Mr. Savon G. Carter. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Westside Debaters.
Resolve, a fair merit-based pay system should be implemented within our schools. As far back as the 1920s, public schools have been awarding pay primarily according to title and seniority rather than merit. This fact seems to be out of touch with the reality of the 21st century education and the need to fairly compensate teachers for what they do on a daily basis. A fair merit-based pay system would improve the quality of education by incentivizing hard work instead of simply rewarding time spent. The teacher who goes the extra mile or gives a little more, serving and empowering us, should be given the same treatment when it comes to paying them what they deserve. Thank you.
Resolve, a merit-based pay system should not be implemented within our schools. Mr. Jefferson brought up some great points. However, he seems to be a little misguided on a few ideas. While I agree our teachers should be rewarded for their efforts, I do not believe that merit-based pay is the answer. In various studies, we found these incentive programs do not produce long-lasting results. Furthermore, incentive programs may cause teachers to over-focus on test scores instead of truly assessing the overall basics a student has made. When a teacher becomes obsessed with financial rewards and test scores, they begin to forfeit the priceless benefits of science, art, and music, which are replaced with only the testable basics. Thank you.
Resolve, a merit-based pay system should be implemented within our schools. I would ask Mr. Cook to look into the eyes of the teachers who struggle to make ends meet for their own kids and tell them that paying them more isn't the answer. Pay for performance is not a new concept. If it can work for businessmen, lawyers, waitresses, travel agents, athletes, and accountants, why can't it work for teachers? Secondly, if there's such a shortage of teachers, why not attract more with higher wages and put the pressure on schools by offering incentives like merit-based pay to reward the strong and improve the weak? In the end, not only do our teachers win, but most importantly, we win. Better pay, better educators, better education. Thank you.
Resolve, a merit-based pay system should not be implemented within our schools. Ms. Kauser, we are all moved by your very passionate argument. It is also a shame, out of all the jobs currently in existence, teaching is one of the few that does not pay like it should. However, implementing a merit-based pay system will not completely fix the problem of underpaid educators, or more importantly, underachieving students. The worst thing that we could possibly do is force the teacher to place measurements over passion When we do this, we all lose, Ms. Kauser. The answer is to simply increase our teacher salaries across the board, and then put the focus on what's really important, our education. Since student achievement varies, it'll be fairly hard to emphasize on this incentive without allowing certain students to fall through the cracks. It is time to emphasize on individual growth instead of money, test scores, requirements, or personal agendas. In all honesty, we cannot pay our teachers what they are owed. Our job as students is to show them that their efforts are well worth it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Westside Debaters. Now, while you're standing there with your hands out, put those same hands together for their parents who have come to different events, taken off of work, left work early, signed permission slips, re-signed permission slips, re-signed permission slips, and have most of all put up with me for the entire year. So give them a hand, they really deserve it. These kids came from somewhere. They came from somewhere, and we really appreciate it. As we close and we turn it back over, it has been a tremendous year at Westside. As you see, their apparel has changed over last year. Last year they had purple shirts with white lettering. This year it's a little different. Khakis, a sweater vest, and a white collar shirt. I do believe that what they wear permeates how they act. What they wear sometimes dictates how you take them. And when we take our kids all over the place, all over the city, all over the nation now, people stand up and take notice even before they speak because they see them well-dressed and they also see them well-behaved with manners and respect. And I think that's home training because we couldn't teach that. We couldn't teach that. But the thing that I'm most maybe saddened about is that we're moving on. These kids are graduating 5th graders. But the thing that makes me really excited is that we have a crop of 4th grade debaters coming up behind them. It cannot stop. We have 4th grade steppers coming up. We even have some pre-K steppers in the building who say, Mr. May, I want to step. Mr. May, I want to debate. And I said, well, why do you want to do all that? Because my grades are good, I'm behaving in class, and I'm doing the right thing. They could have said because it's cool, because you got music and you got uniforms, but they said because I have my grades up, I'm behaving myself, and I'm doing the right things. And if we can have a school full of 700 kids with that kind of mindset, not in the county, sorry, not on the charter level, I'm sorry, not even in the private sector, I apologize, but public schools where educators educate every single student that comes through those doors. So don't move them out of district, just move them forward into their destinies. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Anita Price.